Hello. I'm just spreading the news right now. Ugh, I'm gonna get so sick of this lo-fi. Holy crap. Ah, God. Last time I did this, I almost went insane. I was programming for 6 hours straight. Um, I couldn't get my thing to work properly. I ended up like fixing it in 5 minutes the next day. I was just going down a rabbit hole of mistakes and god damn it. Alright, well, let's see how this goes. And I'm going to stop. Oh, this is too loud. Alright. I'm gonna stop at like 9:30 or something. I don't want to go into midnight. I think it is ridiculous. Yeah, hold on. I'm sending a few links to people. Alright. I guess I'll just start. So, at first I'll explain what I'm doing. So, part of the computer science club, basically its leader. And there's this one project that we're doing currently where you have to make a game based on a particular theme. So this project theme, ah God, hold on. So this competition's theme is vehicle, just the word vehicle. I can interpret it however I want to, but my game has to reflect it somehow. So the way that my game is doing that is through tanks. My game is, if you ever played Pocket Tanks, you take turns shooting your tank on the screen. Let me just show you. Alright. So I'm trying to recreate this game. There you go. So those things are tanks, and this green is like the terrain. So you take turns shooting at each other, and you have limited fuel, so you can only move a limited amount per turn, and you have to like adjust the angle of your little fuck, what's it called? Oh, the barrel. Uh, and so you have to have good judgment for what the angle should be and what the power of your shot should be. And also your projectiles are explosive. They'll actually blow up the terrain and change the shape of the terrain. So it'll create like holes. Explosions would make holes. So yeah. Hold on. Talking to a few people right now. Okay. So yeah. I'm recreating Pocket Tanks. And here's what I have so far. Oh yeah, I'm not entirely working on it by myself. I'm working on this with a friend, Deeren. Um, I'm pretty sure the people watching this know who Deeren is. Um, but if you don't, he's also part of the computer science club. He's part of my group working on this project. Uh, yeah. So I didn't make all of this code. But here's what we got so far. So that's the tank, and this is the terrain. The terrain randomly generates, as you see here, different every single time. And watch this, here's the amazing part, okay? I'm pressing D, it moves. Incredible. It even angles properly. It's a little bit wonky because it's not detecting the angle of the surface below it precisely, but it's good enough, I think. So what I gotta work on now is to get the explosion. Oh yeah, and also the projectile works kind of, not very well. But I'm not focusing on that right now. Well, actually, the projectile doesn't work very well. Like if I were to if I were to shoot the projectile and then turn my turret as it's in the air, it like levitates. Wait, hold on, let me play that again. All right, so bam, and then you see it's not very good. But I'm gonna work on the explosion. When the projectile hits the ground, I'm going to work on calculating how to change the shape of the terrain, so it'll look like a crater is formed. So I guess I'll briefly discuss how I made the terrain generate. So the terrain, I'm treating it as if it's one big shape. And then I actually am storing every single point, like every single point of the shape in a list of points. So I have information about the surface of where the surface is on the terrain. So if I want to create an explosion, let me get out my handy dandy whiteboard here. Alright, so that's the projectile right there. And then it collides with the terrain at this point. So an explosion is basically a circle. I'm just going to treat it like a circle. So an explosion is going to affect all the points within this circle. Oh, hold up. Alright. Sorry. So, like imagine that all these, that there are like so many points along the surface. Oh my god, I hate this. Like points like all over. A bunch of points. And then I'm going to generate a circle, and then every single point within this circle is going to be deleted. Oh god, hold on. Alright, let me make this a bit less chunkier. Okay, so every single point within this circle, within the explosion, is going to get deleted. And then I'm going to move them to the outside of the circle. So then the points will be here. Well, yeah, it'd be so many points, it's basically a line. And then I also connect the points too. And there I have my crater. So where I'm at, so in order to do this, conceptually, so I'm easily able to detect when a point is inside of the explosion radius. That's not a problem. But then the real problem is trying to reapply those points along the edge of the circle, like what I just did, because I have to detect where the inside of the terrain is. So I have a choice of either putting points where I just did over here, or putting them on the other side of the circle, like this. Now, obviously, doing it like this is just incorrect. I cannot put points outside the circle like that, or else instead of creating an explosion, it's like I'm generating dirt, instead of removing dirt like an explosion should. So I have to detect uh, which points are in the inside of the terrain or not in order to put the points in the correct side of the circle so I create an explosion properly. So that means I have to create a method that will detect when a point is inside of a shape. The shape in this case being the terrain, and the point in this case being the points along the edge of the explosion. So that's exactly where I'm at now. Oh, rip, hold up. Okay, so yeah, that's where I'm at now. Um, Now I've actually done some coding in my Spanish textbook, well, in my Spanish notebook in class. Um, it's a pretty dull class. Not much is really going on. She kind of like rambles on about like her life or something. So I'm trying to stay productive, and I took out my notebook and I was coding in pencil and paper. Um, Definitely there's some mistakes, but I'm gonna take it out so I can use it as a reference. All right. To the people who just joined, or the one person who just joined, um, I am programming a game where there's two tanks shooting, taking turns at each other. Their projectile creates explosions in the terrain, so it actually changes the shape of the ground that they're in. And what I'm programming right now is the explosion. I'm trying to figure out how to make the explosion work. And I actually programmed in my Spanish textbook or notebook, so I'm taking it out right now, looking at the code I wrote in pencil. uh, yeah, it's gonna be kind of tough to explain what I'm doing as I go along because I'm not understanding what I'm doing yet. But as I figure it out, I promise I'll explain the best I could. Hmm. Oh, wait, maybe it was my English notebook. Fuck, I swear. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's my English notebook. I found it. Okay. And also, I'm assuming that the people who are watching this stream are interested in how I programmed, and want to learn how to program what I did. So I'm going to try to teach just like Mr. Coding Train, the processing god. All hail the coding train. That's what Betamine would say. Well, William's doing something that's much more violent. It's like bombing a city or some shit. Holy crap. So this is like tame in comparison. All right. And yeah, let me move this around so you can see this because maybe you didn't see it before. But here's what I got so far. It generates new terrain every single time I press play. See that? And angles little thing, and also it shoots. Oh, what the fuck? It hit. Okay, I gotta fix that. It just hit like the edge of the window and it crashed. Oh god, abort, abort. Okay, okay. Alright. So I'm gonna explain how I programmed what I have so far. Um, Actually, I don't know if I should because it's quite a lot. All I need to know is that I store every single point on the terrain in a list. I have the x and y coordinate of every single point. Alright. Let's see here. I'm also gonna try to comment as much as possible so you guys aren't that lost. Oh, yeah. I have to explain this too. So, I found that to detect if a point is inside of a shape, um, any line that comes from that point that intersects the edge of the shape an odd number of times, it is inside of the shape. That sounds like wild, but that's actually true. Alright, watch this. I'm gonna make this point right here. I mean the shape right here. Here's that point. And I'm gonna make a line going to the right. 1. Intersected it one time over here. So yeah, odd is inside. So odd is here, right there. If I make a point over here, 1, 2, 3, it's inside. Like, it doesn't matter where you draw the line, it just anywhere. That's once inside. You see, it's kind of wild. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And then if it's outside, let's see, it's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So that's I'm basing a program off of this idea. Let me get that disgusting blob out of here. So the method to detect if a point is inside of a shape. The shape is going to be my terrain. Alright, let me just show. Oh shit. Whatever. So I'm accepting the x and y coordinates of the point. I have a variable for how many times it crosses the edge of the shape. And here is basically the line. So it's a horizontal line from the point to the right of the screen. And then it detects along that line if it is intersecting any of the points in the terrain. Intersecting the edge of the terrain. So here's I actually visualized this. So imagine that my cursor is the point I'm trying to check. Look at those dots. Those dots tell you the intersections. So imagine that there's a line from my cursor to like going perfectly to the right, all the way to the right. Every single time that line intersects the edge of the terrain, it creates a little circle. So it shows you how many times it intersects, where it intersects, And you see this works. It says, oh yeah, I have up here, mouse inside terrain is equal to false, or true. Right now it's false because it's 0. 0 is even. Excuse me. 0 is even. But down here it says true. Now it's flashing true and false because here's one problem in my terrain in my program right now. So imagine, all right, here's the shape. Beautiful. Okay. Oh my God. Let me just fucking do that again. Here's the shape, and then here's the line. So according to my program, so this technically intersects it once because it's intersecting the very edge of the shape right here, right there. And 1 is an odd number, so it thinks it is inside the shape. So I had to detect whenever it hits the edge and then treat it as if it's intersecting twice. So if it's intersecting the edge, it'll intersect it. It'll increment a counter by 2 rather than 1, and that way it treats it as if it's not even um, intersecting anything. Or actually, I can make it not even increment anything. But I think in the code, I'm gonna have to just add in an extra number to the counter rather than not count anything. I don't know. But I'll have to treat it as if it's not intersecting at all. Oh, I shouldn't clear the whole page. And let me prove to you that this is true. Imagine you got a point right here, and then you're drawing your line over here. One, two, three, four. Oh shit. It actually works regardless. Hold on. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Whatever. I can't make it a good example, but trust me. I have to detect when the line intersects the very edge of the shape. So, the theory behind that is this. An edge of a shape, an edge point, is a point that is surrounded by points that are either both above it or below it. So I'm going to draw the individual pixels. So these points that I circled in green are above the other points. So the green would be an edge. So if the line intersects those points, it'll have to detect that as an edge, and it'll either increment it by 2 or by 0. So it stays an even number and it acts as if it didn't intersect it at all. Yeah. And also another problem with my program before was that when all right, so pixels, you know how pixels work. My terrain is made up of a bunch of pixels. So if you zoom in to the line on the right, on this line, it basically looks like the thing in the left because it is made up of pixels. Pixels are square, so it kind of makes these jumps, and it has these areas. And if your line is flat enough, if the slope is flat enough, you'll have pixels that are you have a bunch of pixels that are next to each other that have the same height, like groups of pixels with the same height, like these. So in my program, if my line were to go through one of these groups, like if it's over here and it goes through over here like this, then it's going to think it's going through 4 points, that it is intersecting 4 times because there are 4 points here, and it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's counting all the points on the terrain that are equal to the points on the line. So that'd be 4 times. However, I need to compensate for this, and I need to detect when I have one of those flat areas. So whenever the y changes as you go along in the x, that is when you have a new level. And it's only one of those levels that I should detect if my line is intersecting. Now, I don't know if I'm talking too theoretical now and no one's following, but I think I have to explain this because that's what I'm programming. I think I'll finish it soon though, and we'll go on to more interesting stuff. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone understands what I'm programming, to be honest. It's kind of out of context, but let's see. So here's a line going to the right, checking if the line is intersecting any of the points on the terrain. Well, really, this is what it's doing. That would be here. And then what this is doing here is it's checking if if the last point is on the same if the last point has the same y value. So that's what I was showing here. Oh shit. Oh, oh my god. So that's what I was showing here. If the last point has the same y value as the y value before it, then it will not increment it. So if I draw a line through here, it'll not count it as 3 intersections. It'll count it as 1 right here. Because the last y value was different from this one. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. So I need to somehow detect. Oh god, this is gonna be so painful. I have to detect when the point I'm intersecting is an edge. So I have to detect the points before it and after it. So one theory I had Well, one possibility I had was to check, was to, instead of making just one line going straight across, I'll make three lines. I'll make one line above and below the line I'm checking. So that way, here's what I was imagining. This is so tedious. Okay, so that way, so I'm gonna draw this line. Oh, my mom. Hold on.
Be careful when you're with that woman. Women are all liars. You should know that.
When this is over, I'm getting out of it. All of it. When I do, will you come with me?
To the moon. Look down. Look down. That fragile bubble of life float on a sea of nothing.
Hello. All right. Uh, well, fuck. I'm not sure what to do actually. uh, God damn it. When I was doing 3D tic-tac-toe, at least it was visual. This is like not even visual. You just see like these circles here. Uh, Honestly, I'm not sure how entertaining this is gonna be. Like to be completely honest, I feel like it's gonna be boring as shit for most of the time. But you know, fuck you, Darwin. Um, anyways, I feel like there'll at least be some educational parts of this. Let me think. What the hell was I even programming before? In my notebook, I was doing like these weird sketches. It's like an alien language. It's like, I mean, I vaguely understand what I'm trying to say to myself, but it's like, what the heck? Okay, a bunch of people just came. I just noticed. I guess I'll briefly summarize what I'm doing again, cause you fucking bitches. All right. Um, I'm trying to create an explosion. Trying to code an explosion that'll it'll create a crater in the terrain that the tanks are on top of. And in order to make an explosion, I have to detect if a point is inside of a shape. And to detect if a point is inside of a shape, I have to detect how many times it intersects, well, how many times a line from that point in any direction uh, intersects a shape. So if the shape is like this, and the point is right here, and I make a line in any direction, I'll count how many times it intersects the shape. So a line over here, once. And if it's an odd number of times, it is in the shape. Always. So if I make it like this, it's 1. If I do like this, 1, 2, 3, it's inside of the shape. But if it's outside the shape, it's an even number of times. So if it's outside over here, 1, 2. You see, if it's over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Now that works, like that alone works, but I forgot to detect if it hits an edge. If it's the edge of oh my god, if it hits the edge of a shape, it should not count it as intersecting, because if that's the case, if there's a line that goes over here, intersects it once, that's an odd number of times it's inside of the shape. Obviously not. So to detect if it's on an edge of the shape, I have to detect the the y coordinate at the points before and after what I'm intersecting. So that's what this is all about down here. Oh my god. Imagine that the middle line in each of these drawings is the point that I'm intersecting. The one before it and after it, I have to detect. If the points before and after the point that I'm intersecting are both above the uh the bitch, both above the point that I'm intersecting, or below, then that means that my point is an edge and I should not detect it. I should not increment the counter. Now, the problem with this that I'm realizing just now, oh god, this is so fucking complicated, I'm gonna die. Okay, the problem that I'm realizing right now is, what if... Oh, this is gonna be so awful, holy crap. I don't want to program this game anymore. Maybe I'll have to change the way I do explosions. But, like, okay, I just realized this game's gonna create holes in the terrain, in the ground. So that means sometimes, well, almost inevitably, you're gonna get a terrain that looks like this. It's gonna go it's gonna go like underneath itself. It's gonna be holes underneath the surface or something like that. So this is due March 7. God. So what I said about the point before and after the point you're intersecting being both above and below, um, that only makes sense if there's only one point before and after. Assuming, oh my god. Uh, uh, Assuming that I have a function basically. Because here, for every x, I have more than one y. So like, I have to detect... Oh god, this is gonna be so awful. Oh, wait a minute. Let me think about this first. That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point. I might just do that. But then, Deern would have nothing left to program. I've been kind of like stalling, uh, what, like this, like, I've been kind of stalling programming the game, making these like things related to the terrain. But, so Deern could have something to program. Because he was working on the tank for a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so. Nah, I shouldn't do that. Oh my god, you're so harsh. He's like, what do you mean? Damn, I really wanted explosions in my game. I really wanted explosions. Alright, so here's an idea. I'm gonna, I'm probably not gonna do explosions to be honest, but here's a quick idea. Um, I'm going to have to organize each of these points like this. So this is point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like I have to treat the outer surface of the terrain as if it's one string. Uh, and I have to go from, yeah, so I have to organize it that way. So that way I can check, so that way the point, all right, here's this point that is being intersected by this green line. So that way the point before that point is, oh god, is this. And the point after it is this, is the purple. So to do that, okay, that's actually possible, but I'm gonna have to organize all the points because currently, uh, I did not organize the points based on their coordinates. Uh, oh wait, how would I possibly organize them if they're already disorganized? Holy crap. I'm unprepared for this. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I came into the stream like all confident, uh, so much passion. I'm like, I was programming in my Spanish. I was bragging like, oh, I programmed in my English notebook, guys, in class. I'm so good. And then out here, I'm like a scared, naked baby, naked and afraid, cold, wet, outside, exposed, vulnerable. What the fuck am I saying? An exposed baby crying in the back seat. I'm not gonna change the game I'm gonna program. I'm definitely gonna still do this. Okay, maybe I don't need to detect if a point is inside of the shape. I'll have to think of a different way to create an explosion. Somehow. Maybe it's a different way of making an explosion. So, when I create the explosion, I have the radius from the point. It goes all around, deletes all those points. Then I have to somehow put those points back in along the circumference of the circle. So it's going to be an arc from here to here. But I have to know which arc to fill in those points. Once I do, it's not a big deal. Okay, I got an idea actually. So rather than making a method that detects if a point is inside of a shape to detect which arc to fill in the points, um, I can use the information from the projectile of the tank. So I know what direction the projectile is shooting at. I know, so in this case, it's going down here. So that tells me where the surface is. That tells me which arc to use. So I don't know how to program that. Go to the Habibis or something. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a loner and stay in this and stay talking to myself. I mean, I know a really inefficient way. So for every single moment that the projectile is in the air, well, for every single moment in the projectile's existence, I'm going to keep track of its slope. I think, and to calculate its slope, I'll record its previous position and its current position, calculate the angle between those, and that'll be the slope, or I guess the angle. Um, and at the moment of the projectile's impact, I'll look at its slope, and uh, and then I'll create a line from that point with that slope going infinitely downwards, and then I'll intersect the edge of the explosion radius, and then oh god, no, this is awful. What the fuck? Uh, I probably should have programmed this a little bit before the stream just so I get some things cleared out. But this is the raw Michael Mankiewicz. You know, you're seeing the real deal. At least it's authentic. And I don't want to be programming like until I'm extremely exhausted and I don't want to like live on this planet anymore. I did that last time. I programmed until like midnight for 6 hours. It was awful. I got awful sleep. I'm gonna get off at like maybe 9:30 or something. Yeah, probably 9:30. I didn't even program yet. I'm just like thinking about what to do. Fuck. I'm just gonna type in pseudocode so you guys could at least follow along what I'm thinking, because I don't want you just like staring at at a drawing, not knowing what's going on, and just me complaining about what's going on. All right, so I guess like so here's what here's kind of what the code would look like to be creating points and radius of a circle. So it'd be something like for, oh wait, let me zoom in a little bit. It's lagging. Okay. So for int I guess I just code it for real. For int I equals 0, I less than equal to pi. Oh wait, what's pi in processing? Well, pi times 2, and then I plus equals a really small number. So this loop goes through every single angle in a circle. But really, yeah, so let me see. But really, I wanted to go between this angle, between this angle and this angle. I have to somehow figure that out. And I have to make sure it's going on because like not only do I need to know those two angles, I have to know how it goes from those two angles. If it goes like this over here, or it goes like this. I want it to go like the one down here because that's inside of the terrain. It's going to make a hole in the terrain. Uh, so I suppose I can do the thing where I'll make a line from the projectile. I'll see where it intersects the perimeter of the circle, and I suppose that the angle that my for loop sweeps through, that the angles that my for loop sweeps through has to include this point, this angle. Wait, I'm actually getting somewhere. Oh shit. This might not be hopeless after all. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna do this. Wait, what the hell? I think I could actually do this. I'm kind of surprised. Alright, let's see what garbage code Deeren programmed. Cough cough. He was in charge of the projectile class and the tank class and the yeah. I was in charge of the terrain. So I might have to do some rearranging. A? What the hell's A? A angle. Oh, I see. Oh, he already calculates the angle. Uh, oh God, what's happening? goes to the right. I deleted the angle. Yeah, so it goes perfectly to the right. So this is the initial angle. I'm trying to figure out Deeran's code right now because his code's kind of broken. Like if you if I shoot and then I twist the barrel, it like magically moves the projectile. Yeah, to be honest, yeah. Sorry, Deeren, but I gotta fix it. Alright, this is like really big. Let me make this a bit smaller again. Okay, I'm gonna reorganize the steering. It'll be for the better. Let's see if this changed anything. Hopefully it didn't. It didn't. Good. It didn't change anything. Okay. So angle. So I assume that angle is only used when I'm firing. Let's see if this changes anything. Yeah. And actually, I think it just fixed the bug. Nope, it didn't fix it. It's like an intense wind is taken upon the projectile. Let me see how the impact method works. Let me see if it changed anything. Nope, all good. So the problem is, uh, the the projectile is still attached to the barrel, even after I shoot. So because it's attached to it, when I rotate the barrel, even after I shoot the projectile, it rotates the projectile with it. So I have to separate it somehow. But I have to figure out how he joined them first. This doesn't make sense. There should be a shell. Shells that add. Shells over here.
How have you been? Good. That's good. Me? I've been, I've been good.
Okay, shoot doesn't make sense. Perhaps. Yeah, shoot doesn't make sense. I think it should be in tank. But let me put this back. I think that shoot should be in tank. Oh, I'll bring this up here. Whoops. Yeah, that should definitely be a float. What? Okay, so shell is an array list of projectiles What the fuck? Uh, yeah, I don't like how this is organized. Not to roast Deern, but I gotta reorganize it. Sorry, Deern. um, rip. Yeah, so Darren just told me a good point. Um, you could just not move the barrel. Uh, oh shit, what the hell? Hold on, let me bring this back. I'm just gonna bring this back to where it was. I guess it's okay. I just wish it was. Let's see, tank dot. Okay, so I'll just not move the tank if I fire the projectile. Yeah. Uh, so a projectile. Let's see. Shoot, fired. So if fired is equal to true, well, I have to be able to tell. Actually, no, this is okay. Cause okay, we're gonna have two tanks. So I don't know. Let's see. Shoot, motion. So I guess like I'll do. Let's see, it's called shells. Let's see, I'll make a Boolean variable. Shells in the air, make that equal to false. I'll go through each of the shells. It's called fired. Yeah. If fired is equal to true. Well, let's see. I'll do this for now. And shells.impact is equal to false. So if you fired the bullet and it didn't touch the ground yet, it's still in the air, then that means that there is at least one shell in the air. And if not, then it's going to be false. Let's see if this works. That does not work. What the hell? Okay, what happened here? Rip. First of all, let me see if it's just a mistake like this. No, so it thinks that shells in air is equal to true. Wait, is equal to false. Wait. Okay. Let's see how big the array list of shells is. It's 0. What the fuck? It's constantly. Whoa, whoa, it's a big, big number. Alright, that's okay. Alright. 100, 320.
Yeah, I need you.
Aha! You see what's going on here? This is okay, so the shell list does not represent anything about the number of shells. Well, first of all,
Yeah,
it should be one shell. Um, like when I'm not even moving. There should be one shell right here. Well, actually, no, there shouldn't be a shell here. The shell should be created when I press fire. It shouldn't be following me around. That's unnecessary. So I have to create, yeah, so that's why the shoot method needs to be in the tank class, because I'm going to create a projectile when I shoot. So let me do that. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand what you're trying to do, Deeren. It's just not in the right spot. It's not organized properly. So that's what I'm fixing, really. So shoot. And to pass into the shoot method, I'm going to need the angle. Uh, Going to need an X position and a Y position. Return type. Oh, whoops. And it would be there that I create a new shell, which is at X, Y, and it'd be very convenient to have an angle. So that would be projectile angle. And let's see, what's the projectile speed? It's like, oh, it's this. What's the magnitude? Yeah, so it's V initial, following Mr. Burns' class. Equals 6. Okay. Is that a 0? Yeah. Alright. I think. Okay. Um. Yeah, I guess I assume. I don't want to. I don't make this game too complicated. But if I wanted to adjust the the initial speed of the projectile, um, for each different type of projectile, then it'll have to be in the tank class. But I think that they're all gonna have the same kind of speed, so it can be in the projectile class. It'll be right here. Uh, okay. So shoot. Wait, let me just paste this. Don't know what to call this. I'm just gonna call this the spacebar boolean. Go. Let's see, where should I shoot? Up here. Oh wait. Down here. Whoops. If press the spacebar, shoot. And you shoot at position.x. Oh wait. Oh, angle xy. So that would be this angle. Okay, it's hard to read. Vector angle plus dot x plus dot y. Oh yeah, for some reason position is a float. I don't know. Oh. Oh yeah, I think because p vectors are always floats, I have to cast it to an int. Oh, actually, this should be up here. So when you shoot, that would be, or is that, or over here? Gonna create a new projectile. Um, let's see. Oh wait, let's see. The Y should actually be this. Oh, actually, it should be that. So we don't need this anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping like the ideas that Darren used, but I'm just reorganizing a lot of it. So if it didn't touch the ground, but oh yeah, that should be a angle. Update should be motion. Don't need motion anymore. Oh, interesting. I think I'm just not uh rendering it or something. Let's see, render dot update dot render. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna fix this. Eh. I'm trying to make a toggle switch so it'll only press spacebar once. It doesn't just trigger a bunch of times. It'll only make spacebar true once. So it'll make spacebar true if last spacebar. Oh, Zed. I figured it out. There you go. No, it's not working. This is really awful. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream soon. I'm not making that much progress at all. And this is just very tedious programming. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a lot of this done. I'm also kind of like distracted because I'm trying to think of what to say to you guys. So tomorrow I think I'll just get a lot of things done on my own that are pretty tedious. And after I figure things out, then I'll stream so you guys can see more. But I'll get off in like 12 minutes probably. I don't want to do this anymore. And I did this before. I know how to. I'm trying to make it so when I press the key, it only triggers once. It doesn't trigger like a million times when I hold it down. Uh, I don't even know what to look up. You know, screw it. I'm gonna end the stream right now. I can't take this anymore. I don't, you know, I'm not getting anything done. It's so tedious. Uh, I might stream again after I figure things out and I get the boring stuff out of the way. I think I might literally create a script too, so I know what to say, and I'm not distracted. Um, yeah. See ya.